Out these hands.
Thank you.
It's a great comment, Joe. I can't put it on the screen, but it's a great comment.
So Matt Schneidman put a tweet out earlier today. Micah Parsons practicing again. Let's go to a little bit of the practice footage here as you see him working the engage and shed here in drills. Again, he looked good, guys. It looks like there's no limitation there. He's actually in pads today. Tim, if I remember correctly, he was not in pads yesterday. Is that how you remember that as well?
Micah? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were kind of just getting his feet wet, but today it looks like he's full go with the rest of the boys. You see Coach Ogabasi and DC out there working with him. Looks good, you know. A lot of talk about the back issue or potential back issue, whatever. Play in the NFL for more than 10 snaps and see if your back isn't messed up, you know. We'll take it week to week with Micah, but looks pretty good now. Tell you that. And I think we are, contrary to popular belief, I think we'll see a little bit of Micah Parsons on Sunday for sure.
Yes, 2-0 for this says that sled drill to a one-handed catch had me speechless. Micah is something else. Jacob, what do you think, man? Is there any concern about Micah's back for you right now, or do you think this is all kind of behind us for the most part?
I mean, yeah, there's concern, if I'm being honest, just because I don't want there to be any further, hiccups here that are going to disrupt this timeline for him healing. Ryan had a great podcast this morning where he talked about how the structure of how this back issue is usually like the timeline of what it takes. And it says that usually it's about weeks 3 to 4 when you can start doing activity. And if you have some kind of some discomfort, that they will use those, like, I don't remember what the exact substance is, but some sort of injection, like a cortisol / like whatever it is, that will kind of help him feel a little less tight, maybe loosen it up a little bit. But to be honest, watching him out there, it doesn't look like he's limited really at all. Usually with the back, you can kind of see, you're doing that kind of weird moving around, looking kind of clunky. As you can see, like 2-0 for this mentions, and this clip just makes me want to freaking bang my head against the wall in a good way, dude. Like, it just gets me so excited how he can engage the blocker. I mean, most of the time this is a drill to bat the ball down, right? Or tip it up. He's like, no, I'll just take it. I'll just grab that out of the air. Like, it's a, it looks effortless again.
I know this, man. When Micah Parsons gets his first sack at Lambeau Field, it's gonna hit like crack. I'm just telling you, it's gonna be absolutely awesome. Let's see this next shot here is it looks like we got Covington out there working with the boys, right? And it looks like he's taking on a double team. Is that what we're seeing here? A little double team and then shedding through.
Yeah. Hand fighting. Looks like LVN, Rashawn, Alexander, and Micah working with Coach Covington. I like it.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts from like how MG Till Legion says, if his back is bothering him, let's just wait. We don't need to rush him.
Yeah.
And
what's your sentiment?
Give him 15 snaps on Sunday. Yeah. Pepper him in. See how it looks.
There's no doubt in my mind, MG Toe, that if his back was bothering him significantly, he wouldn't be out there. I'm just telling you right now. Yep. People are saying, you paid him a lot of money, he's got to get out there. That's BS. You paid him a lot of money is more of a reason to not screw this up. Right. So I feel really confident that he, I don't think he's going to play. I mean, nobody ever plays every defensive snap. And then in the Packers rotation, it's typically, 60% of the snaps or whatever. I think Rashawn Gary was something like 59% of the snaps at one point. So that's just something that LaFleur believes in anyway. Yep. But with that being said, I think if there was any worries whatsoever, he would not be active on game day.
We're only a couple weeks removed from LVN, quote unquote, with a back issue. And we saw him, 48 hours later out there hitting sleds and, a full go at practice. So, maybe it's just an nagging issue for Micah. Obviously, like, I think Jacob's point is well taken. It's obviously a concern, but I don't think that we're in a position where, we think he's going to miss significant time. I don't think we would have made the deal if we thought there would be future issues with his back.
Yeah, I completely agree. So Wes Heikowitz talking earlier here on X said Matt LaFleur on Micah Parsons' availability for Sunday. So Coach LaFleur said, quote, "We'll see. He's doing everything in his power. He's rehabbing hard. We got to get through a couple practices and to see how he responds. Certainly hopeful." So that's what LaFleur said. So again, get him through a couple practices. and then check it out tomorrow, right? And see, okay, is it tight? How does it feel? Do we feel good? All right. If it is a little tight, let's rest him and see how he feels going into game day type thing. If it's not tight, then press him in a little bit more, right? Continue to get work because he hasn't practiced. That's the reality of the situation in Dallas. And you do want to kind of get ready in football shape, so to speak. I think he looks like he's in great shape, though, personally. So I'm not overly concerned with that. You guys got anything to add to what Coach LaFleur said there, Jacob? Does that worry you at all, the way he worded that, or do you feel pretty good about it?
I feel all right about it. It was a little disconcerting, just the way that he wasn't like full bore. Yeah, he's ready to go, and that's what we want to hear. But, this is a decent question here from Biz1987. Says, do you think the staff is trying to get him straight into the playbook or saying just cause chaos for the first couple of weeks and we'll add schemes in accordingly, basically kind of get him slowly in the actual X's and O's of everything. But in the meantime, just rely on his raw power, his raw ability to just go in there and, to screw things up, let's say.
I think I would answer that as yes and no. I think the staff is trying to get him straight into the playbook. I think Micah's a student of the game. We talked about his FBI. I don't think Hafley and this staff is going to just throw a guy out there and say, hey, rush the passer, 10 or 12 times and we'll call it a day. I think they're doing everything they can to get him ready to go week one. And if they don't feel like he's ready to go, whether it's, schematically or physically, then they may restrict him or hold him out. But I don't think they're just going to cut him loose and say, hey, go out there and run around with reckless abandon. I think they would want him to be at least as acclimated to the scheme as he can be for only being here for, these past few days. Right.
Yeah. And one of the comments that was made too, I want to say it might've been Bill Huber. Someone reached out to, what's his name? The former head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, who went on to be a defensive coordinator in Dallas for Mike McCarthy. Zimmer, Coach Zimmer was praising Micah Parsons' football intelligence. Like, this dude is sharp as a tack playing defense. So with that being said, I don't think he'll have any problems picking up the defense. So like you said, Tim, I don't think it'd be something they just throw him out there. All right, just go rush the quarterback and then we'll get you back on the sideline. I think they're looking to maybe bring him on a little bit slower than other guys that are probably in the second and third phase of some of the adjustments they're going to make as the year goes on. But I think he's going to be ready to go with very, very limited limitation, I guess you could say here. So respect oranges. I want you to visualize the quarterback is Jerry Jones.
BCA.
Got his inner Bobby Boucher going.
Exactly. What do you think? Speaking of Bobby Boucher, Emilio, you've seen him firsthand at the Redneck Brawl.
I was surprised he made it out there, but I'm glad he did.
Micah Parsons got a little Bobby Boucher in him, I think. Man, what do you think?
He does. To that point, Micah was saying in his interview that this was the first time he hadn't played football in this long since he was like a kid. So yeah, I feel like he's one of those guys that's, no off-season shape. He's just always in-season shape. He might be out of in-season endurance, maybe just play, those 6-second bursts that you got to give. He might be a little bit tired there. The stamina might be a little bit lower. That's fine. But I think that we might, probably try to roll him in a little bit slower. He already knows, obviously if you go tell him to do a wide 9 and twist or anything like that, he understands all that stuff. That's not the issue. So that'll be able to, be passed on to him. I just would kind of ease him into it just because it's been, pretty much the whole offseason. He hasn't really done game stuff. So let's just kind of ease it that way. But I think he's going to be fine. I'm not really worried about the back or anything.
Yeah,
for sure. Especially he talked about that, right? He said he was working out and doing the best he could to stay in shape, right? So
physically, dude's in shape. I think he just might be a little winded here and there, and I think he mentally knows what's going on. He was already talking about getting the iPad and flipping through it, so that's not an issue. I feel like he's fine there.
I loved his attitude since he landed here too. He was like, "Hey, I can't wait to get out there and put hands on somebody." It's been a while since I got to crack heads and get out there and hit somebody. So. I think mentally and physically he's probably where he needs to be, but you're right. It'll take a while to get his game legs underneath him, maybe.
Yeah, I love what Coach Gruden said. If you guys watched that show earlier today that I did, where Coach Gruden broke down, how the Packers like to do overloads and things of that nature, right? Let me drop this down real quick and I'll pull it back up in case you guys didn't see it. But this is what he was referring to, and the Packers did a lot of this last year, right? If you notice how we're overloaded on the right here, let me go in red. So
nickel
we're
low
overloaded.
mug, Clay. I literally live in this formation on
You ain't
defense.
spamming that. You better not be spamming that.
I
You
spam it. Linebacker blitz. Everybody's man up, and let's go.
Yeah, so you'll notice you've got 3 defensive linemen on one side of the center, and then you got a guy isolated over here. And one of the things that Coach Gruden was talking about is put Micah in this spot right here, that we can get him isolated, right? Tell you what I like, based off what we've seen, because Dallas did this a lot down there as well, is instead of putting Micah there, I would leave Gary there and put Micah here. And now imagine as they try to fan that protection to the left side, right? And have these guys work across, and then Micah stump back in the middle with 4.3 speed and that quickness. That's, to me, that's a superpower. Again, you're not going to do this on running downs, right? This is where you're going to do this on the 3rd and 8s, the 3rd and 12s, that type of look. But the fact that you get Gary isolated one on one off one side, and then you're freeing up Micah to use his superpower and that elite speed, being a speed rusher, to me, that's the way I would play that. Now, they're going to throw in a lot of different mixes for sure. And here's the other thing, too. Let's pretend – you notice this isn't even Cooper on the field because obviously this was week 1. But imagine Coop here and you got Quay here, 2 elite athletes as well. Now, imagine that you've got Micah stunning off that, right? Imagine this guy crosses the face, Micah coming around with that 4.3 speed, this guy jab stepping, dropping into coverage, and then have this be Edger and Cooper coming off the edge as well. There's a lot of things you can do there. Like if this is Enigbare, if you put him a little bit inside and have him drop with a 55 drop, or whether it's Brenton Cox Jr. or whoever you want to drop into coverage they could pull, or even LVM with that wingspan, You get into a 3rd and long situation where you can get into your NASCAR package. I think that could be huge as well. So,
shoot, I'm looking to see they're going to throw it here at us 1/3 down where Mike is a dude jabbing and stepping back. They slide 2 guys over to Micah thinking that he's there and he's the one dropping in coverage because he's a freak athlete that can. I was listening to one of the Cowboys pods and he's like, the one thing that made Micah was when he was supposed to be blitzing off the edge, and I saw him flip his hips and run with that tight end after the corner got picked off. And he said when he made that play and broke up the ball, I knew that kid was special. And like he was kind of going off on Jerry Jones. I meant to send you out the pod to listen to it, but I am pretty excited. Even I just don't think we want to lock Micah into the edge. Let's definitely move him around because then you have to game plan for every position instead of just left or right side sort of thing. But I trust Hafley in his ability to. I mean, his defense is going to be wild this year.
It's like to Clayton's point, it's not where you line up or where you start, it's where you finish, right? Put him on the edge, have him stun inside, creating pressure where it looks like it wasn't coming from. And now it's, LVN and Micah, or it's Rashawn and Micah. And then you've got coverage with your linebackers. I mean, I think that's a great plan, using that versatility factor. That's what we talk about, right?
Yep. Stand him up in the middle and loop him outside, drop him in cover. You can do so much with the dude.
Yep. It's like Coach Len's saying, line him up at Sam and edge, line him up at the Will, line him up at the Mike. Who cares? Let him
mugging.
Yeah, let him mug the gap. And then maybe you put Micah out in coverage. You never know. And you blitz or rush 2 other guys. So like Clint's saying, Hafley is definitely a happy man right now. If anything, he might be kind of having a brain seizure right now, trying to figure out how to deploy all this weaponry that he has. And I think the more that he gets to utilize these guys together in tandem and see what the best combinations are, we talk about the rotational aspect of this defense. I think, by the time we hit the bye week, we're really going to feel good about this defensive front.
Yeah, as John Schmidt says, 335 LVN, White, Gary, Coop, Quay, Parsons.
Let's go.
Good luck.
Can you imagine he brings the 335 into the NFL and we're just tearing it up?
Oh, yeah. That's which you guys, anybody who watches college ball, that's a really, really common defense, which we played a little 3-3-5 in Green Bay last year. But it's, it's all the same thing. It's just window dressing, right? And, there's only a handful of calls you can actually make out of each of these defensive looks. But, yeah, it's going to be a blast, man. And, again, I'm not trying to get myself worked up into a frenzy. We're like, we're going to beat the Lions by 2 scores. There's a legit shot the Lions win this ball game. They're a good coach team. They're gritty. All those things that we've come to know the Lions as here lately. But boy, oh boy, I haven't been this excited about Packer football in a long time. And there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that seem to be in place for the Packers to truly put on a show. Mina Kimes just continues to swat down the copium over on X. I don't know if you guys are still keeping up with it, but the Cowboy fans are still in complete denial, along with the Bears fans. It's mostly Bears and Cowboys fans. There's some Lions fans, there's some Vikings fans that drift in, but as you can see, people still arguing with Mina, and she just hits them with facts. This guy, Robert Smith, I don't know, man, Robert, I don't know if that's Robert Smith or if that's Edward Scissorhands, but shout out to him, right? Nice lipstick too. Yes, but did he defeat those double teams? Did his teammates get pressure wins because of it? He's a good stats against bad teams guy. Get blocked up when rushing inside and can be run at outside because he's light, very good player, but not complete and not a top 5 edge guy. Mina quote tweeted him and said, over the last 3 years, Parsons ranks first league-wide in pressure rate versus double teams.
Facts don't care about your feelings, Dallas. Sorry.
Sorry, my man. It's just like what Coach Gruden was talking about earlier. And, I want to address something real quick. I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but we're going to do it anyway. So, got a comment on the Gruden video we played, and the viewer said, anything with Gruden in it, I'm down voting. I gave it a thumbs down, essentially is what he said. So who? So I hit him back just to remind him, listen, bub. So because we highlighted what a former NFL coach is saying about the Packers in a positive way, by the way, right? You're going to damage the stream, damage the channel by hitting it. Because when you hit the down vote, when you hit the thumbs down, what it's telling the YouTube algorithm is, me don't like this. This is bad content. You think you're hurting the channel, or you think you're hurting Gruden. You're not hurting Gruden. You're hurting the channel, right? So if you're a supporter of what we're doing here, all you did was just hurt the channel by doing that, right?
What is the problem? Why do people have a problem with Coach Gruden?
If they do, that's their prerogative, is the way I see it. I don't care. I don't know why or what have you. But I just want people to understand that. Now, here's the other side to it too. With our YouTube channel, one convenient thing that YouTube gives us to combat people that are just being negative and trolling is I can actually click on that comment, and what's really awesome, and there's no way for them to block me of seeing this. It'll show me every comment they've ever made on the channel. So when I go in there and I see negative comment, negative comment, negative comment, negative comment, guess what YouTube gives me the power to do? I can now hide that viewer from our channel, meaning they no longer see us, they no longer comment or anything. So just understand that if you're going to be one of those people that decides, hey, we're going to try to tear down what they're doing there. And again, made it sound like I don't like Gruden, therefore I'm going to punish you guys. That's cool, man. Hey, that's your freedom. I got freedom here too. So just know that, okay? That's how that works. So I love people already trying to figure out who it is and shout them out. But nonetheless, that's how it works. That's how it works on YouTube. And anytime that you decide, well, I don't like this video, I'm going to hit the thumbs down, you're not actually hurting the person that you didn't like in the video. You're actually hurting the channel. So, and don't be surprised if all of a sudden PTA disappears off the radar for you. I'm just saying that can magically happen. So, yeah, agree with that chat that popped up. But anyway, let's move it along. Anything else you guys want to hit on with Micah before we get on to the other injuries and guys returning to practice here?
Nothing, coach, with a good one here.
I've seen that too.
But yeah, no, I really cannot wait. The fact that we have NFL football tomorrow is unbelievable. And honestly, props to Kenny. He's going to be set up for. I mean, Dallas had a player that hadn't practiced all offseason to now having a dude, ready to roll right off of literally off of a practice, hopped onto a plane and went down to Dallas.
You ready to go?